I am divorcing you. Black!
I'm separating from your dark Lynn Whitfield. The gifted star has consistently celebrated the cinema with her unexceptional ability anyway. She has gone through battles that many individuals disregard due to the fabulousness and marvelousness of Hollywood. It appears to be that her relationships are everything except great, and she has uncovered that she has experienced in her life as a result of it, yet what truly compelled Lynn Whitfield separate from her significant other, and thus we only sort of be asked on everything and each second that we were, especially in that club. Each marriage faces difficulties, and in spite of being hitched 2 times, Lynn Whitfield couldn't rescue both of her connections, eventually finishing off with separate from. She secured the bunch at 21 years old with a man 23 years her senior. Vantil Whitfield, who was a pioneer in dark venue as a writer-chief and entertainer. Lynn Whitfield and her most memorable spouse Vantil isolated in 1978, 4 years after their wedding. They had no kids together, and tragically Vanel died in 2009 because of Alzheimer's sickness. In 1990, Lynn Whitfield entered her second marriage with Brian Gibson. Sadly, like her most memorable marriage, her subsequent association finished in separate in 1992. Brian Gibson, her subsequent husband, was a movie and television chief. Due to different highs and lows, they wound up in a separation in 1992. Lynn Whitfield and Brian Gibson share a little girl named Effortlessness Gibson, who is 6 years of age and frequently shows up close by her mom anyway. Her separation didn't make her more vulnerable, yet reinforced her relationship with God. She said, "When I went through a horrible separation is the point at which I truly found my relationship, a profound relationship with God. There have been times in my day-to-day existence where I realized that I was unable to make it without God." In a meeting while examining interracial connections, Whitfield was inquired as to whether she confronted any kickback when she wedded her second husband, Chief Brian Gibson, in 1990, regardless of the brief idea of their marriage finishing off with separate in 1992. Whitfield recognized that certain individuals protested her falling head over heels for the white man who guided her in the HBO TV film The Josephine Pastry Specialist Story, underscoring that she kept up with proficient limits and didn't get physically involved with Gibson, while cooperating in light of the fact that she was unable to surrender my influence. Whitfield suggested a conversation starter to any person of color who objected to her interracial marriage. "Where were you to step in and make me a proposition I was unable to afford to ignore?" Individuals were unglued about it, and certain individuals were disturbed that I wound up falling head over heels, and he fell head over heels for me. Lynn Whitfield is a capable American entertainer. She at first began her acting process in TV and theater prior to progressing to supporting jobs in films. Whitfield accomplished acknowledgement by winning an early evening Emmy grant for Extraordinary Lead Entertainer in a restricted series or film. She additionally procured a Brilliant Globe grant selection for her champion depiction of Josephine Pastry Specialist in the HBO historical film The Josephine Bread Cook Story. She's most popular for her parts in motion pictures like Medea's Family Gathering and Dainty Line Among Adoration and Disdain. During the 2000s, Lynn Whitfield took on different supporting jobs in both TV and film. She co-featured in the Chris Rock satire film Head of State and Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Get Together. On the TV front, Whitfield played repeating parts in Boston Public and Without a Follow. During the 2000s, 2014 to 2015, she showed up in the ABC legitimate dramatization How to Pull Off Murder as the disgusting Mary Walker. She likewise played repeating parts on Hit the Floor and depicted the oppressive mother of April Rochelle 8 on Paramours in 2015. Lynn Whitfield handled the fundamental antagonist job in Greenleaf, a unique prearranged show series on the Oprah Winfrey Organization. The show investigates the ethically sketchy universe of the Greenleaf family and their tremendous Memphis Uber church. Whitfield assumed the unmistakable personality of woman May Greenleaf, the definitive clergyman's better half, and the ambitious cash-driven matron of the family. The series likewise highlighted Keith David Merle, Dandridge Kim Hawthorne, and Oprah Winfrey. Whitfield's exhibition got a case from pundits, with one taking note of her imperious emanation, suggestive of a fantastic drama diva like Joan Collins. She procured the NAACP Picture Grant for Remarkable Supporting Entertainer in a Show series in 2019 and 2020 alongside the Gracie Grant for Extraordinary Female Entertainer in a Supporting Job in a Show series in 2017. The series closed in 2020. After 5 seasons and 60 episodes, consequently Whitfield got a main job in the arranged side project of Greenleaf. At present, she shows up in the famous program Greenleaf on the OWN organization, which is created by and furthermore includes Oprah Winfrey. Greenleaf turned into the organization's top series and the main link series for ladies in the show. Whitfield, who has won an Emmy grant, plays the woman May Greenleaf. She is the wife of a super church minister named Diocesan James Greenleaf. The Greenleaf family continually faces strife, embarrassments, mysteries, untruths, and treacheries. The Aries is set in a rich suburb of Memphis, Tennessee. She guarantees that watchers will observe some of woman May's flaws and catch a brief look at her weaknesses. She said, "I like her. She has a long way to go. She makes sense of as a person of color in America. I feel that woman May is one of those ladies who have been a spine for America. Her way to dealing with her well-being mirrors her way to deal with life." She said, "You dispose of the muck within, and you must wipe it out, make sense of what it feels. You must ease it up. You need to. It makes life such a ton better, assuming you dispose of all of the dead stuff." Same thing with skin, same thing with terrible recollections. Many fans accept that the terrible recollections she is discussing are her bombed relationships. In a new meeting with LA Sentinel, the Emmy grant-winning entertainer shared how she went to God for help during her separation. You're accomplishing magnificent work. Currently make everything work for you," she said. By and by had to deal with a separation when I won an Emmy, which was an objective I'd been working a long time for, was covered with disillusionment. There was nothing for me to do except for to permit God to assume control over the entertainer. Reference that she found comfort and harmony by going to chapel. She reviewed, "I coincidentally found the West Angeles Church of Lord of Christ. I crested in the entryway and saw it was full. I was going to leave until I heard a lady say, 'Lynn, you better come in,' and plunk down. They found a seat for me." The experience lowered Whitfield and caused her to perceive the significant effect of being essential for a congregation local area. She said, "I was truly lowered through that preparation, and all that I truly know where I need to go when circumstances become difficult. Here's reality. In the event that there is no contention or obstructions, you don't have motivation to rest on God. The tough situations clear your soul and gets you directly at chapel." Whitfield found motivation that impacted her depiction of the evangelist's better half woman May Greenleaf in her ebb and flow job. "I visited many temples and drew something from every one of the principal women I met. I figured out how the primary woman makes the design of the congregation," she told The Root. "They are the sovereigns and they deal with us yet. It's truly about assistance, how they invite us, and the tone they set inside the congregation." Whitfield brought up woman May Blake of West Angeles Church of God in Christ in Los Angeles as a champion illustration of what a first woman ought to encapsulate. Woman May Blake, wife of Minister Charles Blake, was a guide to me of what a first woman of a congregation ought to be. She uncovered, when without her I couldn't say whether I at any point would have gotten saved, in light of the fact that she established a climate where I could get familiar with the unbelievable influence of a magical God. Lynn Whitfield is known well for her acting abilities and profoundly depicting a person anyway. She is additionally known for her solidarity and strength to acknowledge who she is. Over the most recent 5 years, Lynn Whitfield has embraced a massive change in her life. By relinquishing another component, counterfeit hair, the entertainer genuinely promised to embrace her regular hair. Whitfield admitted to Hyper Hair magazine, "I recently started to understand around quite a while back that I didn't actually have the foggiest idea what my normal surface is." Whitfield to Hip Hair magazine, "And I just became inquisitive about it. We should find out what is it. Truth be told, and presently I'm simply beginning to see the example emerging, and I like it's a lovely twist. I don't have any idea how I'll manage it. I can pull it back. I don't have the foggiest idea yet. We'll see. It will be an undertaking, an excursion. I'm so energized. I anticipate doing this investigation as the little girl of a bosom malignant growth survivor and a mother to an exquisite young lady family holds incredible significance for Lynn Whitfield. This association with the effect of bosom malignant growth has persuaded her to lead a mission pointed toward expanding consciousness of this sickness and focusing on the meaning of early location, especially among African American ladies. She said, as the little girl of a bosom disease survivor, I felt it was vital to loan my voice to advance attention to bosom disease and the significance of early discovery, she expressed through the assumption. Responsibility for bosom malignant growth drive. We are conveying a message of trust and strengthening to African American ladies. We urge them to be more proactive in their way of life decisions and in dealing with their well-being by getting yearly mammograms, directing self-bosom tests at customary spans, eating right, and practicing as an entertainer. Whitfield has likewise been liable for teaching ladies to elevate the African American population and help them despite misfortune. She said, as an entertainer, I accept that my most noteworthy jobs are ones that rouse and inspire, said Whitfield. I'm in this way entirely dedicated to my most recent job in the assuming responsibility for bosom disease crusade, as a job can move ladies and their friends and family to make a move and command over their well-being and their lives while examining the length of her own life and well-being.